For a manufacturer that's been involved in the compact crossover SUV segment since the mid-1990s, I've always been a bit surprised that Toyota has taken so long to follow that trend of shoehorning in as many models into what is a compact, fiercely competitive but massively lucrative segment. Well, they've been trying to resolve that lately by plugging the huge gap between their CHR and, of course, their RAV4 by introducing models like the Suzuki-sourced urban cruiser. Now they've introduced this, the Corolla Cross, and if they come to market with the Corolla name, you know that they mean business. It really is a lucky packet when it comes to Toyota and styling. It's either or oh my word crazy, who designed that? But I think they've hit the styling sweet spot with the Corolla Cross. It looks just right. Balanced proportions, clean lines, design restraint delivering maximum style points. And this color, just amazing. But I think it's going to look good in pretty much any color. I like how the sliver of headlight wraps all the way around to the wheel arch, upgraded to full LEDs from the XS models up, which also see the inclusion of, well, some pretty old school looking fog lamps. The rear light clusters follow a similar flow, but with LEDs across the model range. In the time of large grills, Toyota have made theirs add to the show instead of trying to steal it. The black and grey grille detailing on this range-topping XR does finish it off stylishly. So I wonder why the dour, downturned face when viewed head-on. You look good, go on, smile. The upsweep on the front bumper is also mirrored at the rear, but my favorite feature has to be these fender flares, there to emphasize width but also creating a dynamic perspective in profile. Toyota have come a long way from their days of blinging everything. The less is more chrome touches are now standout features. Just look at the sleek look it gives the Corolla Cross, and it reads nicely against the equally sleek black roof rails, wheel cladding, skirts and rear bumper. Our top spec XR derivative rubbers up to 18-inch alloys, and specification is good across the range with keyless entry, electrically adjustable and foldable mirrors. Oh yes, she's a looker all right. There is so much crossover in the segment when it comes to size and price. It's really difficult to identify direct competitors. But if you were to use dimensions as your yardstick, well then the Corolla Cross is going to beat most of the competitors out there. The Kia Seltos and the Peugeot 2008 come closest. There is no sloping roofline, and with doors that open nice and wide, accessing the Corolla Cross in the rear is super easy. Because of the longer dimensions, you're not going to be cramped in the back at all. The legroom and the headroom is really, really impressive. And adding to the comfort for the rear passengers are the air vents. And if you do spec up into the XS or the range-topping XR, you get 2 additional USB chargers in the back as well. Now, while I really do like the sliding bench seat that you get in VW's T-Cross, because it does ramp up the practicality, because of the car's smaller dimensions, it cannot compete with the Corolla Cross. At 440 litres is class leading. So the interior layout is what you will get in the Corolla hatch and the sedan, and I really do like it. It is uncluttered, it's got a really good upmarket feel. My favorite is the way they've treated the dash layout. It's on the split level, and the way they've integrated the dual climate control, the multimedia system into that lower level, really nice. But from a driving perspective, everything is easy to reach, and that for me is crucial. Everything feels Toyota, solid, well put together, and it's going to wear well too. The dark interior may feel a little bit too dark for some people because there's no sunroof and there's no light accents, but I think it looks very upmarket, except for this. Open your center little console. You got this little cutout piece of felt like an afterthought. It runs on Toyota's new global architecture platform, which also underpins vehicles like the Corolla, the Prius, the CHR and the RAV4. So you're off to a brilliant start. And I must tell you, the ride refinement has been just amazing. It soaks up all the bumps, and that's really impressive when you consider that the Corolla Cross is running with a slightly less advanced rear suspension setup. We've got a torsion beam at the back, whereas the siblings are using a double wishbone setup, but really good. The cabin is well insulated as well, so Toyota have done a superb job in that regard. We've also done some driving on gravel roads, and it handled that very well. The seating position is really good. Your multifunction steering wheel is height and reach adjustable, and you can lower the driver's seat as well, so super comfortable, as is the bolstering on the seats. You are set up for a nice comfortable commute. The one thing I don't like though is the steering for me is a little bit lightly weighted, especially when you are on the open roads or enjoying these beautiful sweeping mountain passes that we are on. I guess that it is geared up for tackling the city. There are two engines to choose from, a 1.8 litre naturally aspirated petrol engine that's pushing out 103 kilowatts and 173 newton meters, or the one that we're in, the very familiar petrol Prius hybrid setup with a combined output of 90 kilowatts. The battery system is more compact now, it weighs less, but it's still pushing out the same output. And what is impressive is that they've also improved its ability to regenerate charge. That's up 28%. You've got a full EV mode, which is cool. And when it does come to fuel efficiency, I mean seriously, the benefits of this petrol hybrid setup is undeniable. Toyota is claiming 4.3 litres per 100, and on our trip, which has mainly been on the open road, we've never gone above 6 litres per 100, which is really impressive. And you need to consider the fact that open road driving is not where the hybrid, the battery, is going to be able to shine. That is going to do stellar work when you are sitting in start-stop traffic in your daily commute. So really impressive fuel consumption figures that we've got on this trip. Now both engines send drive to the front wheel via Toyota's 7-speed CVT transmission. And round about now is when I'm going to start droning about the Corolla Cross. I mean, if this just had a traditional auto box, it would be brilliant. And even though they have stepped the CVT, it is nowhere near as good as the 9-speed CVT that I recently drove in the Chery Tiggo 4 Pro. And I believe it's all to do with the powertrain. You see, Chery used a small capacity turbo petrol that delivers that low down punch that a naturally aspirated engine just never can compete with. And I think that's why it just works so much better. Even with the additional support offered by the battery, the drone just finds its way into this well-insulated cabin. There's no escaping it. Admittedly, on our cruise, I've had adaptive cruise control set, so it hasn't been as noticeable on the open road, but I'm just imagining start, stop, accelerate, traffic light, pull away and go, your daily commute. This would absolutely flip and drive me nuts. It really would. I just think a diesel, or like I suggested, a turbo petrol option would really make the Corolla Cross unbeatable in the segment. But as it stands with what they're offering, you've got to go for the hybrid, because surprisingly, and we'll get into more of that later, it is not that more expensive than the standard 1.8 litre petrol. This is the one to go for. What I have been impressed by is the addition of Toyota's Safety Sense system, which is standard in the range-topping XR derivative. Yeah, we're talking about that adaptive cruise control, blind spot assist, lane keeping, a pre-collision system as well. All of that for 450,000 Rand. Oh, let me be safe, hands on the wheel. Well done, Toyota, that's brilliant. We know sales of hatchbacks and sedans are declining, and yes, that even includes a model that has been around since 1966, has spanned 12 generations and sold over 50 million units. For the Corolla to survive, it has to evolve. So what Toyota has done here makes complete sense, taking the Corolla badge on its new adventure. Obviously, it is really lacquer that, hang on, by lacquer for my foreign viewers, I mean really good, awesome, fantastic. So it's really lacquer that the Corolla Cross is manufactured here in South Africa, which is why our range-topping hybrid model that we are in is the most affordable hybrid you can buy in our market right now. That's because our greedy government doesn't get to add their premium taxes onto all of those more efficient and environmentally friendly imported models that end up getting priced out of the reach of the average South African. And with households under ever-increasing financial constraints, this is where Toyota really delivers the goods with the Corolla Cross. It's 100,000 Rand spread between entry-level and top spec. 350,000 Rand is where it all starts with the 1.8 litre petrol XI model. 40,000 Rand more will see you spec up into the XS. Hybrid pricing starts at 413,000, with our range-topping XR hybrid just shy of the 450,000 Rand mark. Add to the equation the love for the brand and consumers' drive to crossovers, and I think Toyota have secured the future of Corolla for a few generations yet.